Hey, hello, Vane. I'm so happy to be with you today and have this conversation connected to my initiative, Let's Self-Care Together. So I want to introduce you before get to, we got to meet each other it was last week.
Mhm.
I had a session with you through the Tiffany Napers program I'm part of, the Up Leveler Society, and we had this joy session and
Yeah.
this meditative, energetic experience with you through healing with colors. I had an amazing time being totally in flow, connecting to my subconscious and working with chakras. And you're going to tell us more about that. And I would like you, Vanessa, to introduce you and your company, Vanessa Vibes, and tell us what you do and how it's related to self-care.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. I'm so excited. And yeah, I mean, last week when we did the healing with colors, that's my signature workshop. It's the very first thing that I've created, and that has had such an impact on me. But essentially what I do, I'm like an energy coach and a healer. I go by many things, but this is really where my zone of magic is at. I support high caliber humans in redefining wellness through self-love, through energy alchemy, through just finding connection with themselves again. And I focus a lot on the energy field and the energy centers, or just in general energetic ways to begin to move us closer to where we want to be, or redefining what it is that we are experiencing. And the premise of all that I do is through to heal or transform through pleasure and joy. And that's really the root of it all, is how can we move closer into experiencing higher vibrations in this human experience, because we know naturally that life is about contrast, it's about polarity, and it's how we can find new ways and new pathways to getting from the maybe icky feelings that we don't want to
Mm-hmm.
feel into the more joyful ones that we consider. So it's all essential, but my focus is now shifting towards that, like going from good to better, from like amazing to like extraordinary.
I love it. I love it. And I have to say, having this first experience with you, I could really feel this connection to my energy and my different energies. And it really opened up something for me. And so I would
Mm.
like you, Vanessa, to maybe tell us a bit more about the way how you are working with that. What is the process, and how does it benefit to the person who are working with you and contribute to their self-care?
Yeah. So there's different ways that I work with
Mm-hmm.
clients, so you can work with me. There's the one-on-one capacity, which is the coaching, and we go through different modalities, whether it's NLP, hypnosis, or regular classic timeless coaching, questionings with the other individual, or there's group ceremonies that I hold with meditations, with inner journeys, what I call them, which is one of them is the healing with colors. And ultimately, it's essentially when you are in a state that you know where you are at in life, but you know you want to do more. You are here to create more impact, and you're recognizing that there's blockages or things that are stopping you from
Mm-hmm.
truly experiencing that that desire, whether it is financial, or typically I work with creatives or healers who are here to expand their impact and want to reach other levels of where they're currently at. And they know that their emotions are kind of what's keeping them stuck. So
Mm-hmm.
it's about redefining what emotional experiences mean to them, and rehearsing different states that it's kind of like sinking to the level of your training. A coach of mine says this, and I love
Mm-hmm.
that, because it's we need to train ourselves to be human. We forget that. So it's training how we can rehearse states or challenges so that when they come our way, we act like it's like oh, okay, like this is kind of like not a big deal because I've been practicing these emotions or these circumstances to overcome them, or something very similar. So working with me grants you that ability to really transform your emotions and move them out of your body so that you can truly expand to where you need to be. So that's just one of the focus that like I'm really in and I love. And it's just a remembering. I'm here like a sounding board or a mirror, or like I hold space for you to remember your wholeness, to remember your worthiness, and begin to take those tiny steps that compound over time, where it's kind of like a meditation practice. When you first meditate, the first day is not that big of a change, the second or the third, but over time, you're going to be, when your eyes are open, so you're not meditating, that's when the shifts change, or that's when the changes come. Actually, it's not really in the meditation itself, but it's like the byproduct of you going out, like that's been the result of the meditation. So that's hopefully this made sense.
It makes sense. It makes sense. If we get in more details in the process, I don't know, maybe it can be interesting. I don't know if you will be sharing that, but if you think about one of your clients that you've been guiding through this transformational journey, just to see, you know, what was the starting point and what opened up through all the work you've been working together, just to really make it concrete to the person who are listening to us and watching us about what is this journey and what it could be for them.
Yeah, so one of the current clients that I'm working with, she is this incredible coach as well. She's a coach and a creative who focuses on cycles. So the female cycles, and how you can use each cycle, each phase, essentially not cycle, each phase to your advantage in your business. So when she first came in, she had a really good plan. She had a solid idea of what she was doing, but there was still something missing for her to reach higher levels of income, for her to reach more audience and more visibility. And there was just things stuck in like it being hard or dense, or having to market in a certain way. Like, this is what I need to do. I need to fill out my list. I need to create some. So like going this step-by-step cookie cutter type of thing. And working with me, I kind of throw out all of the rules. I don't really believe in rules. I think that it's up to us ultimately for what feels good to create those changes. So if marketing says you need to do your research and you need to put hashtags and all of these things, I'm like, if that feels good, for sure. But if that doesn't, then no. So that's what we began to work. We kind of uncover those conditions or programs that have been layered on top of her true essence, and recognizing what is it that is preventing you from experiencing a higher level income. So one of the things she wanted to launch was her one-on-one programs, and it took her a couple of months to launch them. So she wanted to do it, but she didn't know how to. She didn't feel prepared or ready to do this. So we just begin to excavate of what are the fears that are coming up. The fears is actually most of the time for individuals like them is to be seen and take space. They're used to people pleasing, they're used to supporting others, but in a very different way. So we began to uncover, like, it was essentially that the being afraid to be seen and not taking space and having to do things because she has to do them. It's like, okay, this is what most coaches are doing. They're putting out this program and then this. So I kind of said, like, how can we subscribe to something different, to your own rules? Like, what would make you feel good when it comes to selling your products? And her answer was just like, what felt good is just being me, doing reels, sharing what like each face is. And she began to embody each phase within herself, which allows her to expand and reach visibility. And her engagement is higher. She sold already, a few months into it, she sold her program, her one-on-one programs, which has been her highest ticket item. And it all came from a place of flow. And that's, for me, the most important thing, because the manifestation, the money, the clients come as a byproduct of you feeling incredible, of you feeling in flow. And throughout the journey, of course, you have highs and lows, but most of the time she was able to get herself out instantly or effortlessly, and that's the goal. So she is feeling magnetic, she's feeling connected, she knows why she's doing things. So these are the things that we begin to work on in our one-on-one calls for you to reach other levels. And we use different modalities. So we use like NLP, hypnosis, time techniques that support in moving along and kind of cutting down these blockages per se.
And have you been using also with her this energetic work that
we most of the times when we first enter a session is always going to be through like an energetic check-in or an embodiment, and then from there we take to, you know, depending on what your body needs or what your soul needs, we work on different ways. My coaching is very intuitive. I don't really plan too much before the session. I do get a feel for what they need, what they're hoping to get, but that's what we move forward. And the energetic work comes, it's like, that's the essence of everything. Where are you now energetic? What's the kink? Where are you not in what chakra, energy center? And most of it, which hers was the pleasure. She was not enjoying what she was doing. So she began to infuse things that bring joy and pleasure to then shift what she needed to do.
It resonates so much with me, like, you know, bringing joy actually in what you do, and finding this alignment with who you truly are, instead of trying to fit other people or society expectations, but just letting your true self be and express itself. And that's a journey for sure. I think for all of us to really connect to ourselves, and that's a wonderful work. It really, you know, resonates with the work I'm doing myself. I'm not working with the energy, but it's leading also people to connect to who they truly are, and I love these more spiritual, you know, ways that you are bringing to the equation. And if we come back to the also all these workshops you are doing and these works that people can also do with you, that for me were more connected to taking this time to pause, to reconnect to yourself, and to bring this emotional, spiritual self-care that we need in our life. Would you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so one of the experiences is the healing with colors, which now I've changed the name to Unkink Your Flow. Yeah, so that one is it. I also have the Sweet Spot membership, which we meet weekly, and you have 30 to 45-minute experiences that are similar to like the healing with colors, but it's a weekly. And here, what I call them, they're ceremonies or attunement sessions, where we use mostly meditations and visualizations to dive into your pranic body, which is your energetic body. And you know, the powerful things about this is that they compound over time. The first time that you do it, you can have a really big transformative session, or it could be more subtle. And that's what we train to feel the subtle energies, because that's where I would say the sweet spot's at, or the juice is at, for you to begin to tinker. Like, it doesn't take a lot of effort. And that's one of the things that I want to focus on in these ceremonies, that it's not about working hard, it's not about thinking hard, it's not about like, I need this to change. It's more about, how can I soften? How can I receive and let go for me to feel a lot better, for me to tune into my energy centers? So, for example, the Unkink Your Flow, we work to get in tune to the energy. We use the chakra system, which is, I call it also the energy center. And these are philosophies that are of yoga and Hinduism. And what they share is that they hold that all living beings are infused with a life force or enlivening energy. And these are energy centers that circulate in your body, and what creates the pranic body, which is the energy body. And within the pranic body are vortex centers, which is the energy centers. And they're like cyclones. They have energies that come in and come out. And they're areas of concentration. They're areas of concentrated movement that stimulate the endocrine system. So we're now finding that these ancient philosophies and concepts are now being studied in modern medicine. And that's what I love about it, and how we can see that we are made of energy, and how we can test these out. So that's what I'm loving, the infusing of the ancient and the modern. But essentially, we in the healing with colors, what we do is we enter into a meditative state, and we navigate into the different major 7 energetic centers for you to uncover and feel what's in there. Where is energy moving too fast? Or where is energy stuck? Or where is there very little life force energy? And how you just bringing awareness to that can automatically begin to shift. And with awareness, you begin to you can ask questions and find the solutions. And that's how the energy flows. So that's essentially a little bit snapshot of what Unkink Your Flow is. And you just reveal a lot of things that are in your subconscious and in your body that you can't consciously think of.
Yeah, it was very powerful. And I want to add, like in this process, there was also a creative side of coming up with drawing, actually, whatever came to mind for each of this energy we were connecting with. And it was also very interesting to be in this flow of just, using the colors and the shapes of whatever came to mind and putting it on paper, and then having it, it was really a great experience that I will renew with you. I really want to get more into it. And I wanted to ask you, Vane, also personally, as part of your own journey, how has it changed, your life, your being, and just if you are willing to share with your personal experience with this energy work and
so it's so interesting because I feel like I've always been very connected spiritually, but I forgot about it. I forgot that I was this very intuitive and speaking with the energy, and I could read it very well. But it was 2012 when I traveled to Italy, and there was I was studying abroad, and there was this course that's called mindfulness. And I had no idea what mindfulness was. And I'm like, but something called me to it. And I was already with a lot of classes, but I'm like, let me take it. And that's when I began to learn about the energy, and I began to meditate. And the first thing I noticed was how meditation, I did it for almost 2 months straight, supported me in my focusing, how I was just able to study so differently. And that, I was very young. I was 18 years old, and it just was, it made sense, and I liked it. And then I came back and kind of forgot about it. But what really moved me was I had graduated. I was already looking for a job in marketing. I studied marketing originally, and I wanted to be a marketing manager for this multi-company, and nothing was coming up. Like I graduated, I applied to so many places, and I was getting no results. And I really felt disconnected from myself at that time. I was in a relationship that was very unhealthy. It was very toxic, and I didn't feel the fire in me. And anytime, I'm very fiery. I'm from a young age. I'm spontaneous. I am very open. I'm loving. And anytime I notice that something's off, it's because that fire is not there anymore, or is very dim. And I just didn't find a lot of joy in anything that I was doing. And I saw the yoga teacher training course, which changed my entire life, because it gave me a purpose again to connect to source, or for universe or God or whatever it is. And I began to reconnect with God again, and find attuning to these different energies. And for me, that shifted because I quit a job that I was doing just because I needed to make money. And I started my own company in marketing. And then I started a company with Vane's Vibes. And then it just began to take form and shape. And for me, that's what happened. Like it was a transformation, a rebirth completely of who I was. I drank a lot. I partied a lot. I was very explosive with my energy, and I just began to come back to myself and love myself again. And without noticing, you begin to have this negative self-talk with your body. It was like a shift in every level of my life, with my body as well, where I wasn't happy. I felt overweight. I was eating unhealthy. And then you just, one little thing leads to the other of you changing. And the biggest thing for me has definitely been like a connection to the self, connection to God, of knowing that I'm always supported. And that's the shift that's happened, that no matter what's going on in life, I can handle it and I can overcome it, and I can find actually the joy in it. So that has been the transformations for, like, this really is what has been the transformation, just connecting to myself and holding my own. And there's times that, you kind of, you don't you don't, and you're part of the human experience, but you forgive yourself and you move closer again to loving yourself more, to taking care of your body, to taking care of your emotional being, on all levels. So this is really it's quite big, but hopefully this helps.
No, it's wonderful. I always love, this. It's very inspirational to hear, somebody else's journey and how they connected to themselves and found their, their path and their own truth. And so it's wonderful for you to share that with us. And I hear like this self-awareness and self-love that are the foundation for me of self-care, also the foundation of, you moving forward and embracing, this one unique journey that is yours, with who you are. And I think it's wonderful, and it shows in your work, because I had this one experience, but you can tell that what you are doing, you are meant to be doing, and that it comes so naturally. And I think that's wonderful when we can vibrate, at this higher level of ourselves. And it's just when we give the most, to the people around us, and we find our, true purpose. And it will evolve. I'm sure you are very young, and I'm sure, there will be, new, encounters and new discoveries. But it's beautiful to feel on track. It took me a bit longer to get on this same path, but I feel the same also, like when you really give you this space inside you to be, it's when really you start living your life with a different energy, and being more self-connected is actually enabling you to give more to the world. So
and one of the biggest things, I guess I don't talk a lot about it, but is the self-sourcing and the creativity that comes from this. I actually never felt creative before this. I felt that, I did marketing, I did that, but like I would always look at my friends who were musicians or artists, and I'm like, wow. Or like even these other individuals that could create systems, and I just felt like I didn't have that. And when you begin to do this journey and connect with yourself, you know that what you're seeking is in here, that you have all of the messages, that you have all of the insights, the medicine, like you have it all. And although we understand that conceptually, we don't really know how to harness it or how to get it out. And this is the work that you do layer by layer, moving closer to your creative fire, to your inner artist. And part of the healing with colors is that, like, activating your inner artist so that you can create things in your world, whether that's physical, like manifestation of a baby, or like whether that's creating a project or it's all these different things. And that's what it allowed me. Like, I was able to begin to create my companies, to create programs for my clients that I never thought I was going to be able to do. And it feels really empowering to be in this state where, this is your creation channeled, or, whatever it is, for the world to heal and to feel better. So I think that's one of the really, I think, benefits of also working with me and working in this world in general, like in this realm in general, is just connecting back to your creativity and allowing it to come forward.
Yeah, because I agree, it comes with this journey. I felt the same as you, like I was looking around me, and anyway, I had this inner voice telling me you are not creative, because that's the way people, I had been perceived also by my environment. Because as a little girl, I was not drawing very well, and it stops there. It's like, okay, you're not creative. And when you just open up and you realize actually we are all creative beings, and it's just inside you, and you just have to let it be. And it's when you actually let go of the self-judgment and just let it be, and without judging it, that it can emerge, and you can connect with it. So yeah, it's also part of this wonderful journey. So is there anything you would like to add, Vane, as we come to the end of this wonderful conversation together? Something you want to share that is dear to your heart? And
yeah, I guess one of the things would be, we've been navigating very heavy energies, and it's been very intense for everyone. And behind the scenes in everyone's life, there's always, a challenge that we've been through, and we're doing the best that we can. So just invite in more compassion for yourself, and acceptance for what's going on, and know that you've done the best that you can during this moment, and that it's going to get better. I feel like this is messages that we need to hear, like, it's okay, it's going to be better, because it's been so heavy. And when you take steps towards like going to a yoga class, a meditation, or getting support, or asking a friend, like, I'm not feeling okay, this is just indications, like self-care practices that are, big and small, that move you closer to you just finding balance again and finding the power again. So I would say that this is a little message.
It's a wonderful message, and I could not agree more. I mean, it's very powerful, this self-compassion. It's giving us this self-love, and giving it to others too, but starting with us, when sometimes that we are pretty rough with ourselves, and but it's very important to keep this kindness and self-love. So yeah, it's a beautiful message, and we need it.
We all need it more.
Yeah, it's been hard times, I think, for all of us in different ways. Thank you so much, Annie. It was such a pleasure to get to know you better, to share what you are doing, and all you can, this energy and this joy, and that you can bring in people's life. And so I encourage everybody to check what you do and get in touch with you, and I hope we'll have the opportunity to collaborate together, because that's something I believe in, and bringing each our own strengths and what's is our gift that we give to the world. And I would love to bring something together with you.
Yeah, thank you for having me and for allowing me to share. And I am always about collaboration and growing, so definitely let's get that in the works.
Yeah.